Ready, you're on.
Hi, it's time to celebrate life. Me on Reggae to Reggae. And today is Friday. And we're supposed to be celebrating the journey. But guess what? We're going to celebrate today, But we're going to have to back up and do over yesterday's program. Yesterday's program was challenged by lightning and thunder. So since it's an act of God, it just means that maybe we won't do yesterday's program yesterday, right? So today we are going to do what we should have done yesterday, which was pay as you enter. So before we get into the meat of the matter, and should I say before we get into the vegetables of the matter, let's just review our total rules. So, one, the first rule is know where you're going. Two, know your driver. Three, pay as you enter. And four is celebrate the ride. So, we did rule number one. And remember, this week we're doing psychological health. And so we did at the beginning, when we did know your destination, meaning that you must know you have your goals and your guidelines as to what you want to achieve in your psychological health. Then we explained that when we are talking about psychological health, we're talking about your relationships and your emotions and how you can take total control over your emotions. So you need to go back and watch Monday's program and Tuesday's program, and you'll get all the background information on how you can control your emotions so that nobody can push your buttons. That means that you have total control over whether you get happy, sad, angry, or any other emotion. It is all in your court. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that nobody can make you angry. Because in the final analysis, we explain how somebody cannot make you angry. You become angry because you are upset with yourself. I was upset with ourselves and we push it on somebody else. The devil made me do it. That's the favorite excuse. And the other one is, he's my husband, he did X. And of course, you have those husbands who say, my dear, is my wife, or is my friend, or is a sister. You cannot point a finger. Why? Because if you point a finger, then more fingers are pointing back to you. So we got to take back our power. Don't give away power to other people so that they have the ability to make you mad or to make you sad or to make you cry, or if they want to make you laugh, fine. But you must take back those powers so that when you do decide that you want to express any emotion, it is your decision and not anybody else's. Okay? So that was controlling your emotions. And then yesterday we did a long thing on controlling your relationships. And between the thunder and the lightning and the leaking out of our internet connection, and anyway, that's yesterday. And that's past and gone. So now we're moving on to today. And remember, there is no such thing as the good old days because my better days are always ahead. And so today is going to be better than yesterday. So we're going to look at the emotions and the relationships. Sure. We're going to look at the relationships. And I have to slow down because I'm also going to talk today about feedback that I've gotten from our viewers. One, I talk too fast. Two, I need to sort of keep it in stiller. Some people find it distracting, huh? And so I am trying to address those. I had another one person come in and say, I don't understand why you keep calling that thing animal you have on the show. A lion. It is not a lion. It is a tiger. A lion doesn't have spots. As if I didn't know. But guess what? I am trying to get you into the practice of using your neutral linguistic programming. If you can look on a tiger and call it a lion and really believe that it's a lion, you can change anything that's real about you to create your own reality. And that's what this show is about. I met this lady into the hardware store yesterday, and she said to me, how can you have a show called and celebrate life every moment of every day in this Jamaica? I said, because I create my own reality. I determine what I celebrate. And if I determine to celebrate everything, then I have a celebratory life every moment of every day. So when you tune in to this program, it's not about what is happening. It's about how you respond to what is happening and how you can celebrate every single thing that happens every day of your life. So, back on to this Lion of the tribe of Judah. He has to be on every program. And I say he's a lion, but if anybody wants to help me out and they have a nice big stuffed lion, then I would appreciate the gift of a nice big stuffed lion, and then I will put him in the place. But until then, this is my lion. And over here, I cannot forget my number one prop on the set. It is the angel reading from the operations manual or instruction book. And so I always have to have this because I have to consult it every single day. And every time I have a crisis, I have to consult it. And every single time I'm not sure where to turn, what to do, I have to consult it. And every time I'm not sure what to say, I have to consult it. When I'm not sure how my thoughts are going in the wrong direction, I have to consult it because it has all the answers. It has all the troubleshooting in that section around there. And if you have some of these operations manuals, in the back it has an index. And if you want to find out about X, you look in the index and it says, peace. You need like a piece? Ooh. Flip to page 562. And I just flip to page 562. And there it is. Peace. Voila. So it's easy. It's easy, but you have to have one of these. Oh, you're going to find the things if you don't have one. Most of our operations manual. It is an absolute essential of life. Right. So as we get into the vegetables, not the meat, the vegetables, the nourishing food of this show today, we are looking at our relationships. And we spoke about the fact that relationships have a hierarchy. And so I'm going to list the 7 relationships that every single solitary soul is involved in. Whether your involvement is on a passive level or an active level, it makes no difference. All of us have to interact and with all of these relationships. All right. 1, our Creator, because that's our Genesis where we start from. Who's supposed to guide and direct us and show us when something's gone wrong. Sometimes you find that something's gone wrong because you just did something wrong. I never forget. You forgot to do something. And so you have a little problem with some things that are not running the way you expect them to run. And so you must have that interaction with your Creator every day. You go and spend at least 5 minutes, and you say, well, guess what? Before I go into that, let me give you the whole list. It's the Creator first, and then your family next, and within the family there's a little structure, but we'll come back to that. Creator first, and then the family next, and then third is your purpose. purpose, your calling, which is supposed to be synonymous with your career. So it's your purpose, your calling, or your career for number 3. And then number 4 is your spiritual family. And that's the family that you get, you interact with, you relate to, you have the same philosophy with, the same way of life. You can call them up when things go wrong and say, boy, I know you understand because you feel the same way that I do about these issues. So that's number 4, your spiritual family. It doesn't matter whether you go to church or not, we all have a spiritual family. Why? Because I'm a spirit, I live in a body, and I have a soul. And everybody who has the same sort of spirit, the same sort of essence, the same sort of philosophy, the same sort of direction and way of life that I do, those are my spiritual family. So you might find you're in a church, and those are not really a spiritual family because they don't really believe the way you believe. More on that when we come to either the Lord's Day, which is on Sunday, or Shalom Shabbat, which is tomorrow. I'm always excited. That is my favorite day. Right? So, 1 was your creator. 2 was your family. 3 was your purpose, your calling, which should be synonymous with your career. And 4 is your spiritual family. After that, you have your community. And then after that, you have your nation. After that, you have the world. And all of us interact with all of them. How did I get this sequence? Because it is in the Great Commission. Do you know what the Great Commission is? This is what the Great Commission is. My Creator, when he was about to create me, decided that there are issues that need to be addressed, and I'm the only one who can address those issues. He decided that there is an issue in your family, in your environment, wherever you are in the world, that needs to be addressed. So he goes back now and creates you for a specific purpose, all of you, for a specific purpose. And then he placed you in an environment, and then he had certain things happen to you so that you would be able to experience the things that you want to help other people out of. And that is one of the purposes for crisis and problem and sickness. What do you think it is? It is so that when you have had those things happen to you, and when you see those things happen to you, and you just go so in a manual, and you start to look for one troubleshooting, and you find it, then guess what? Voila! It is all solved because all of it is in here. And once you have looked at it and you have solved it, then now you have a responsibility because that's part of your purpose. You were created to interface and interact with certain sicknesses and crises and problems and all sorts of things that face you and get over them successfully so that you can now go out and help others to do the same. Show them how you got over so that they too can get over, right? So don't ever think that when something bad, quote unquote, faces you, that you are going to go on and say, oh my goodness, how am I going to get through this? You need to get on a road where every time you are faced with those things, you run straight for the manual man and you look it up and you look it up and you look it up. There are better ways of doing this thing. Because if it is that the manual is so big you can't carry it with you, then you have to go and put it inside. Memorize it. Learn it by heart. So you can sing it, say it, and just bring it up every time. Through the years, I've had so many different ways of trying to get the manual in place. First, I used to go at Sunday school where I just say, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We all know that. But guess what? How you may put it into practice if you really want everlasting life? That's another subject. So that's what I used to learn first. But guess what? You see, I only could memorize about 4 of them. And when I got into adulthood, I found that anytime I wanted to remember some of these things to help me out in a spot, I couldn't remember it. So I said, I'm going to have to devise a program to try and keep these things in me, right? And so I decided I'm going to Bible school. So I was in my late teenage years, and I went to this Bible school, and I went to Bible school, man, and I had all these teachings about eschatology and numerology and all the ology, all the different theology, and what have for years and years and years. And guess what? When I was finished, I wasn't memorizing as well as I thought I would have. You know why? I wasn't putting the information into knowledge. I was just learning facts, and I was not practicing them. So you can't memorize it. It's just facts, You have to put it, move information into knowledge. How do you do that? Well, information is just words or concepts or what have you. That is easy to memorize. But guess what? Knowledge is only when you put the information into practice and have had the results that you should have. That is becomes knowledge. That is why my people perish for lack of knowledge. Look how many people know exactly what to eat, what to do, what not to do, and they're still perishing. And by perishing, I mean separation from that wonderful lifestyle that we were created to have. A lifestyle of celebrating life every day. But guess what? You can't have it unless you have put into practice the principles, the information in here, and turn them from information into knowledge. So, I am here to tell you that I said, well, that never worked too well. So, maybe what I need to do is I just carry the big Bible with me all the time. So, that was the next phase. Then, here it is. This thing faced me again. You have all the problem. And could I find where to find it? I thought I knew half of each verse that I needed to know. No, but you have to get it in the right context. So maybe something would come up and I would say, Lord have mercy. And I look back and forth. I look back and forth. And after that I said, I've got one of those with an index at the back. Right? I call it a concordance. And then I knew how to find those two things, right? So every time I had a problem, I just look over and say, find it and go on. That was still a little bit wrong. Because usually when you need it, it's in a crisis, or somebody comes and says, what do you think about so and so? I have to go looking at the back to the index, then looking at the front, and then decide where the book is in the right place, and then find it. It was too long. So I went to the next phase. That was, I bought all these promise books, and those now have it organized in peace and love and joy and health and wealth and marriage and this and I had one of the most wonderful promises. For years, I had this thing until the pages started to drop out. It had about 300-400 pages because it had everything in there. And every time I came upon something that was wonderful, I said, oh, this is great. I would underline it with a red pen. And then next time I would underline it with a purple pen. And after a while, you could hardly read what was in the book. I did that for years and years. During the reading and reading and reading, something was going in. Something was going in. Are we still on there? We are going on a break, or we are on a break? Going on a break. So guess what? I'll tell you some more about my methodologies when we come back. So it's time to take a break.
as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody. I guess he's trying to tell me something that I should know about this new wind, a new wind that's gonna blow. It's the raining of the heathen coming down on my people, taking the goodness of life and rendering them evil. You see, the little that they gave you was just to deceive you. Don't tell me that you were blind. Don't let the devil fool you.
I said no.
You're on.
Right, wonderful. Okay, we'll just take another break, and we are back to tell you my final methodology for getting this stuff into my system. And that is what works. I've been probably doing this for the last 15 years. I decided I was going to get the word in parts of this, the whole of it, in music and in spoken word. And I got 2 MP3 players. It's like a regular disc player, whatnot. And I got 2 MP3s, one with all the part of the operations manual, and 2. One side had the principles, and the other side had the fulfillment of the principles, how you work it out. And I got those 2 and I put them on 24/7, and they play all the time, straight through the night, going into my brain and into my cranium. And even when I'm washing, if I'm cooking, I don't know what cooking, food preparation is called, or if I am in the bathroom, if I'm bathing, if I have visitors, if I'm on the phone, it is going continuously until after about 15 years, I think I have heard it hundreds of times. Why? Because it takes about 4 or 5 days. And if you guys want to get a copy of this, you can get it from us because it's available from celebratelife.me. And it plays for about 4 days from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, and then I start over again and I just go straight through again. And so that is how, as I talk to you, it just comes, trips into my brain. And guess what? It is because this book says that when you activate the spirit of your Creator in you, then He will lead you into all truth, about everything, not just truth about religious things. Other people think that, that the spirit of your Creator in you is to lead you into information about spiritual things. I'm here to tell you, it leads me into information about everything. What I should wear, what I should say, how I should fix my hair, or my accessories. But most importantly, you know what it does? Helps to differentiate between what is true and what is not true. And that is important because when people come to you with things that are not true, it's very hard to distinguish between the truth and the false things. And one of the characteristics that we can use to define truth, also to differentiate between facts and truth, is that facts can change, truth can't. The truth is always everlasting, never ending, and it is always unconditional too. So it's the truth, it's the truth, it's the truth. Whether it was 2000 or 2014 or 1026. It doesn't matter. Truth is eternal and unchangeable. So we had a previous show where we told you how to change truth into facts or vice versa. Because the facts are what you see with your eyes, your ears, you smell, you taste, you feel, and you emote, right? And they can all be changed into the truth. What is the truth? The truth is what the Creator says about every situation. Not what you think, or you feel, or you actually see. You say, well, guess what? That is the truth because I saw it. Well, guess what? Your eyes are only there to show you the facts. The truth is what the Creator has already decided and is already recorded. So I remember when my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer. This is about going 20 years ago. He was given 6 months to live. And that was a fact. Because it was there in black and white and all the x-rays, all the tests and everything. And after 3 months of chemo and radiation and all sort of other things, they called and told him, we are very sorry, but it has spread, and so you have less than 6 months. He lived for almost 20 years after that. So those were the facts. But guess what? Truth changed those facts from facts to truth. He went to visit a prophet, and the prophet said to him, you shall not die, but you shall live to declare the goodness of God. And guess what? As a result of that, he decided to start all of these chains of health stores and all of these things just to show that you can change the facts into the truth. But guess what? If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. And if you don't put it into practice, it will not come to pass. So you can decide whether you want to live in the factual reality or if you want to create your own reality and change the facts into your truth. That's why I tell people, I don't care what the reality is. I am changing them into my own reality. I'm creating my own reality. Because when I look at the financial situation, in not just our country, but in the whole world, there is absolutely no way I can do all the things that I have envisioned in my heart and my mind. No way. Guess what? When I decide that I am going to put the truth out of this book and superimpose it on top of the facts have got to change. That's it. And that is the only reason that I can celebrate every day of my life. Because I turn every single negative fact into a positive. How? By first of all recognizing what is its purpose. Its purpose must be for the benefit of moi as well as moi. You know, that's how you know about the truth, you know. The truth benefits everybody. The truth is not good for you and bad for me, right? That is the facts. But the truth is good for everybody. You benefit, I benefit. Lord of mercy. I have to work on this. I've lost 10 pounds and now I'm flapping in the wind. But as we go along, we will work on it. So one day I'm going to come and do this and there will be no flapping in the wind. So remember our exercise program that is coming up. It will address it. So let's go down the list. But you see the God part, that is the most important part. So it's God, family, purpose, spiritual family, community, nation, and world. So the family partner, I'm here to tell you that if you do not regard your family as next to importance to your creator, then you are going to have a problem with every other relationship. You know, we spoke about the fact that the best parents are the best lovers, and the best lovers make the best parents. So if it is your time with your husband and the children knocking on the door, tell them go to bed. It's your time, and if you don't work on that relationship and keep it as the priority, then every other relationship in your life will be out of whack. This is why people who don't spend enough time on their what you call the primary diet, which is the mother and father, or the husband and wife, right? If you don't spend enough time on keeping that relationship on a where it should be as the priority, never put the job before it, never put the church before it, never put the children before it. Anything you put before that primary relationship as the heads of the family is going to cause dysfunctionality in every other relationship. And that is why parents who are not getting along always have children who are dysfunctional and trouble. They have to carry them to the psychiatrist and they keep saying the child is and the child is, when it's not because of the child, but because of the parents. So we're going to have a whole show on that coming along. But understand the principle and get your focus back to where it should be. After the family, or within the family, it's the parents if you are not married. If you are married, it is the spouse, then the children. And then we move on to the third relationship, which is your purpose. Now, what is your purpose? Your purpose is the reason you were created, the reason, the things that you're going to do, whether it is not just generic, but specific, meaning that when you were created for a purpose. You were created to do a specific thing, whether it is a career pathway, right? And everybody's purpose and calling has been settled before you were created, because you were created for the purpose. So you can't say, well, I really have a dream in my heart, but I don't have the ability to do it. The ability is neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. So you can just throw out that, what you call that acronym about SMART and all them other things that you must tune your end and your career to your abilities. It has nothing to do with your abilities. It has to do with your dreams and the visions that you have in your heart. The things you're passionate about. Like me, I am passionate about dancing. Anybody who ever see me dancing, why you put everything into it? I am passionate. I love to dance. But when I was born, I had 4 ankles. 4 ankles, and I used to hobble around on the 4 ankles. And when we started to get them worked on and fixed, we had to go to chiropodist or the chiropodist, I don't know what they call them now. But I had 4 ankles and no arch at all. And guess what? I ended up as a liturgical dancer. Now, there is no way I could have decided that I would going to dance. But I saw a vision. I saw a vision, I had a dream of dancing a little tutu, that's the ballet costume, and I was pirouetting on the top of a globe. And guess what? I have danced all over the world. So, remember, a key to your visions, to your expected end, which is going to happen, and you're going to be successful at, is that you have to have dreams and visions and be willing to follow them regardless of your abilities. Now, not to say that you're not to train yourself in those areas, because I went to every kind of dance school. I did classical ballet, and then after that I did creative dancing, and then after that I did modern dancing, and then I did Jewish dancing, and then I did folk dancing, and any kind of dance from any part of the world. African dancing, I did dancehall, I did every kind of dance I could get myself into because that was my passion. So I did train myself. And you have to train in the area that you really think that you have a calling. But remember that it is not the key. Your abilities are not the key. It is your passion and your dreams and your visions. So that's about your purpose. And everything you do as you go along the way can be used to bring you into your purpose. Then we have, after purpose, we have your spiritual family. And remember, we explained what that is. That is your family that you relate to as a family. It doesn't have to be somebody who you have a blood relationship with, but it has to be somebody who you has the same philosophy, the same way of life, wants to operate the same, and so you have a lot of that camaraderie with. And so it's important to have that grouping because it's a supportive grouping. And they are very important, but they have to come in the sequence. Too many people put that family, whether it is their church or their Rasta group or their whatever else, before their physical family or before their calling. For instance, I know sometimes I hear some pastors say, look here, don't bother go to your class. It's better you come to church than to go to your class where you are studying to be what you have been called to do. And then God will put it into your brain. That sort of information you need to get straight from the spirit of this. And so you need to know where to look. I'm going to take another break. And we'll be right back into the shakes of an state.
Somehow I know things have got to change. Ooh-wee, somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Ooh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change.
Hi, as usual, I have my green drink. Right now, this doesn't look very green. It's light green. You know what it is? It's June plum juice. And so remember, your green doesn't have to be vegetable, you know. It can be fruit as well. So, this is good. You know why it's so important to have a green drink? I always have a green drink on the show because it's one of my 5 servings of green that everybody needs every day to be in perfect health. 5 green servings. What I have is I have a green shake, and then I have a green juice, and then I have a green salad. And then the others I take in either powder or capsule form. Moringa, moringa, moringa. 3 times a day I take moringa in all sorts of forms, plus the other green things. So that is one reason why I can celebrate my life, because I always have energy. Why is green so important? Because the chlorophyll in the green has the same molecular structure as your blood. Not the blood, not the whole blood, but the hemoglobin in your blood. And that is what goes to make your stem cells. Do you know what stem cells are? Stem cells are those cells, those mighty cells that are manufactured in your bone marrow. And when they're manufactured in there, they are the ones that swim around and they find other cells that are defective, they find cells that are damaged, they find cells that are dysfunctional, they find cells that are dead, and they just replace them. Huh? We all need to have our stem cells constantly being manufactured. That cannot happen without your chlorophyll drink. So, let me take another drink. Because guess what? You know how when you have a lot of things to do, or you have a very stressful day ahead of you, or you have a very active program for a day. Then after you finish it, then you just have a letdown. So, you know what happens at the end of my program every day? I am on a high. Because straight through, I make sure before I come on, I have 4 chlorophyll drinks from morning until now. I have taken moringa caps, guinea hen caps, soursop caps. I had a green shake with barley max in there, and this is my 5th green drink, Jupiter. So I am just on a high. And when I'm finished with this, I'll just be still floating on a high. I don't watch the flaps. Oops. All right. The next thing is, after purpose and calling, is your spiritual family. We did that already. And now we're on to your community. Now listen to me. I know some people, you see, who live in a community. And when you ask them, oh, you hear that number? You know, I have a friend who lives over right beside you at 16, because you live at 14. And she's also, you know her? No. How long have you been living there? 5 years. You living in a place 5 years and you don't know your neighbor? If you do not relate to your community, it doesn't matter how far apart they are, you know, because most places I live is open land road. But there is always a neighbor somewhere down the road and up the road or across the pasture. Doesn't matter. You must relate to your community, because every community has a purpose of nurturing each other. And so you have to know your community. So, what is your relationship to your community? Do you know all these questions here, all this hierarchy of relationships is so important that when people come to see me for therapy, I have to find out what is your relationship with all of these. Because if you have a dysfunctional relationship with any of these areas, it's going to affect the other areas of your life. So this is how you find that the emotional, which is what we're doing this week, and relational areas affect the physical body. We were talking yesterday about how fear, was it yesterday or one of these other days? How when you are afraid of something, the serotonin in your body just start come out more than it should come out. And guess what happens? It creates a chemical poison or a chemical imbalance in your body. And then you start to do pure foolishness. All the different systems stop work the way they are supposed to work. And people don't understand the relationship between fear and wetting up themselves. It is because every emotion generates a certain chemical. Beg your pardon? Take a drink. Our frog in the throat. Well, not exactly a frog, maybe a tadpole. Now, why did I do that? Do you know that when you're drinking, the first, anytime you put food in your mouth, in liquid or any kind of form, if you don't mix it with the saliva, it will never digest. Because the first thing that starts the digestive process is the salivary fluids. And so when you take a liquid, you cannot go straight down to your mouth. You have to roll it around your mouth like good wine, and let it get into all the corners, and then you swallow it. Now the digestive process has started. So back up again. I was telling you about something that had a frog in my throat. Was it community? I don't remember what it is. But anyway, let's get back to community, because that was the last thing I was talking about. Community, you must interact with the people in your community. And then you got to interact with the people in your nation. Whether you're a part of a national group or organization, it's not the issue. The issue is that when you interact with your community, you have a supportive group to help. And it's the same with the nation. And guess what? Everything, every individual in every nation of the earth does affects the whole world. Because guess what? When you have nations that are having problems, look at all the wars. It's all started from individuals, and then groupings, and then communities, and then it goes up to a national level, and then nations against nations affect the whole world. So we are in effect, whether you are doing it passively or actively, affecting and being a part of every one of these relationships. So let me go through them again. From the top, coming down. Starting on the top, creator, family, purpose, spiritual family, community, nation, and world. I got them. All 7 of them. You know, this is 7. I am encouraging the study of numerology, but you need to understand that numbers are meaning, right? And every number has a meaning, just like how you said 3 in 1. Do you know that that is one of the characteristics that we get from our Creator? Our Creator is a triune being. He has Father part, He has Son part, and He has Spirit part. And like same way, He put that same thing into us. So we are a triune being. I am spirit, soul, and body. And so I have to always remember that I have to treat all 3 parts of myself in order to be in health. And so that is why when people come to see me as a client, guess what? I have to hear about their psychological issues, their physical issues, and their spiritual issues in order to fix the physical issues, because they are all interrelated. And causative functions are from all 3 parts. So don't want to come to me and say, I have this and I want to know what I must eat. Eating can't help any condition, because the source is not in the food. The source is always in the realm of the spirit. The decisions I make, the choices that I decide on, the way of life that I choose, that's not in the physical realm. That is in the spiritual realm. And of course, you know that stress is in the spiritual realm, because the only time you're stressed out is when your spirit is not synchronized with your spirit that has been put into you by the Creator. So here it is. The spirit that has been put into me by my Creator enables me to do everything that I need to do, and to respond right, and to do everything right. But guess what? If I am operating in my own strength without consulting the operations manual, then I'm going to mess up. And when I mess up, it means that I get stressed because things are out of whack. They're not lining up straight. They're not synchronizing. You understand? So there's a way. And the way is to immediately recognize something not right. Something not right. I don't feel good about this. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. That's the place to go. Why? All the answers are here. All the answers are there. So why on earth would you go to your brother, your sister, your mother, your pastor, your bank manager, or your psychiatrist, or any other person or thing when the answer is here? And so we need to know where to go. That's the purpose of the second rule. Know your driver, who is directing the journey, where you are to go for advice. Now, nothing is wrong with those entities that I just mentioned, the pastor and the bank manager and so on. They were put there by your creator, but only as the second place to go. The first place to go is to your creator. And then the creator will direct you where to go after that. But when you take up yourself and go there first, that may not be the solution. Because sometimes you go to the creator, and he don't send you to the rest. He says, here's the solution. And guess what? 99.9% of the time when I go to my creator, he give me the answer same time. I don't have to go to a second person. And that is in the manual. So, I think it's in James, it says, is any sick? And when it says sick, it's not just physical sickness. If you're mentally sick, you're spiritually sick, or you're physically sick, is any sick among you? Call for the elders. And they are going to come and they are going to anoint you with oil, and then they are going to pray over you. What are they praying over you? The words from the operations manual. All they have to do is just speak it over you and believe and know that it is going to change and that these words are going to come to pass. To superimpose the facts from, the truth from here on top of the facts of your sickness. You're sick, you're sick, man. But guess what? If you get the truth out of this book and you plaster it all over the facts of the sickness, voila! You will be sozo. You know the word sozo? When we come back, we'll tell you exactly everything that sozo means as you patch into it and become a part of the solution.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com. On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Things have got to change. Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Oh, yeah. Somehow I know things have got to change.
Yes. All right. were talking about. What are we talking about now? Lord of mercy. Anyway, it's going to come back to me. Right. We were looking at all of the things that have to be done, and it will just have to come back to me. Because we are looking at the whole of this list now. I want to go through this again. God, family, purpose, spiritual family, community, nation, and work. Now, the concept that I need to do in this last section here is that if we interrelate or interpose or change around the order in any one area, all the other relationships become dysfunctional. And so this is why it's so important. You know, people will say, well, my dear, my wife, this, that, that, and and she don't, not on the same page with me, and da, 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 and I can't relate to her. And if you do that, then every other relationship is out of whack. Becomes dysfunctional. Your church, if you're a pastor, becomes dysfunctional. Your platonic relationships are dysfunctional. Your work relationships are dysfunctional. You won't be fulfilling your purpose because your first purpose is to be the right husband or the right wife, right? And to pursue that as the first relationship. And if you are a wife, you have made a choice to become the helpmate. It's your choice. So no one gonna say, well, I have to pursue my own dreams because I'm a person too. You chose to become the helpmate of a man. And if you made that choice, then that is your responsibility until they die or you die. Cut. Now, within that framework, you will have your own dreams fulfilled if you keep focusing on your primary responsibility. Outside of that is your struggle and problems. Your choice. So keeping those in, right order all the time is very, 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 very important. So now that we have all of those together, we need to understand that that is our responsibility. The relationships and the emotions. Just to back up, remember that relationships are with everybody else, everything else, our environment, our everything. But emotions are with one person, yourself. You cannot have emotions with anybody else. Emotions that you express with others are always mirroring the emotions that you have with yourself. And that is why I remember we spoke about the first and primary relationship. Remember, that is love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. I have to do this. I can't stand looking at the flaps. Yes, love your neighbor as yourself. And so, we need to understand that when we have that primary relationship in place where we love ourselves unconditionally, permanently, the way our Creator loves us, then we will not have a problem loving the other relationships. And those people, you will not have to depend on acceptance by those who you interact with. You can have a good relationship with people who reject you. How? Why? Because you know that you are secure in your primary relationship with your Creator. You know, like I know, that it doesn't matter what I do, where I go, how I behave, or anything, that I am secure in the love of my Creator that will never change, it will never diminish, it will always be increasing, it will never end. And when I have that as my backative, you know what happens? I couldn't care less who like me, who don't like me, who accept me or who reject me, because I am graced and I get all the love I need from my Creator. And He, you know what He does? He puts people into my life who are going to love me the same way that He loves me. So, what is the choice? To love your Creator or to love your Creator? There is no choice. Because when you love your Creator, what happens is that you are so comfortable in your own skin. You are not trying to get the acceptance of anybody. And we are talking about acceptance and rejection here. I need you to remember that when you study psychology, you understand that the thing that every human being fears the most is rejection. That is why in the operations manual, the thing that occurs most about rejection is fear not. Do you know that there's only one term that appears more frequently than fear not? No, so right through the whole thing. Fear not, fear not, fear not, fear not, fear not. Why? Because we all fear rejection and failure. Because that is what failure says to us, rejection. But guess what? We can override that fact with the truth of another phrase that occurs more frequently than fear not, and it is blessed. Blessed, happy, fortunate. Blessed, 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 blessed. You know what I did one time? I like to do word studies. What I do? I start from the beginning, Genesis, and I go straight through to Revelation. And when I'm doing the blessed thing here, I just take every time blessed occurred, and I just underline it in red. Blessed, 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 straight through. So that I know I am blessed. And that's why I say that name now. The blessed and highly favored Cheryl Chang. I have to remind myself, because guess what? When everything starts to pop down, I have to remind myself, trying to fix it like a sleeve, right? I have to remind myself that I am blessed. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what I see. I don't care what I smell, taste, or experience. I am going to use those facts and I'm going to superimpose that I am blessed in the country, I am blessed in the city, I'm blessed when I come in, I'm blessed when I go out, I'm blessed when I'm up, I'm blessed when I'm down. I am just always blessed. And that is how we have to live if you want to celebrate life every moment of every day. So remember, the thing that human beings fear the most is rejection. And what do they gravitate to? Acceptance. Today, I remember I have a client who's doing work experience with me, and she is manic depressive and schizophrenic and is heavily medicated. And yesterday, she called and said, "Today I went to the doctor, and tomorrow I'd like to have the day off." I said, "You don't want to come in tomorrow?" And she says, no, I won't be there tomorrow. I said, "Okay, well, I'll see you on Monday." Right. Well, lo and behold, at about 9 o'clock, I see her walking up to my front grill. And I said, I went up by the grill and I said, "Ah, why are you here? I thought you called and said you weren't coming." And she said to me, she just looked at me. And I said to her, I said, "So you decided you're coming here today?" She's still outside, I'm inside. And she said, I said to her, "It's so lovely to see you today. I am so glad you decided to come. It's because you prefer to be with us than to be without us. Isn't that true? She stood outside the grill. And she doesn't boss a smile. This is the first time I saw her smile in about 4 years. I've been treating her for about 10. The first time. And I just opened the grill and said, let me give you a hug. And I hugged her up and just squeezed her and said, I am so happy you are here today. Everybody wants acceptance, and you constantly will gravitate to those environments where you get acceptance. So if the children don't want to come home, know why they don't want to come home, because every time they come home, they say, why you didn't come home earlier? Why you didn't? You didn't do homework. You didn't wash your dishes. And then people stay away from where they are rejected, and they will always gravitate to where they are accepted. So, make your environment one of acceptance. It doesn't matter what they have done wrong. Always start your greeting and your conversation with what they have done right. Or if they have done nothing right, then you say, I am so happy to see you. I am so glad you're home. Can you imagine if they never came home from school? 5-year-old or 9-year-old or 15-year-old. Can you imagine if they decided not to come home at all? Which a lot of them do, because they don't want to face what happens when they come home. So, let your environment and your interactions always be one of acceptance. And you can find something to accept, even if it is only that the person has in life. So that is one of the important things in bringing your relationships into the place where they are accepting, and therefore they are energizing, and they are just embracing. And remember what happens when you embrace. When you embrace situations, you share energy. You energize that situation. When you reject it and put it away, then there's nothing ameliorating about it. Nothing that is going to help. So, it's time to go. But remember, your emotions and your relationships are what you need to keep you healthy and psychologically sound. See you soon.
Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Somehow I know things have got to change. Somehow I know it's got to be rearranged. Saw a bird flew down this morning as if he's saying something to me. Sitting on the limb of a tree, giving me a sound of sweet melody. I guess he's trying to tell me something that I should know about this new wind, a new wind that's gonna blow. It's the raining of the
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com. Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com. Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours